Good morning. Welcome to Choice's history lesson for today. I'm your host, Dennis, and we're going to talk about a man named Tom today, a very important character that has long been forgotten in American history. Most of us have never heard of him, which is really sad because he was an incredible character, a man of great bravery and dedication, a true hero to his country. Tom was born in Ohio in 1845 to a middle-class family. But all of his brothers and sisters were hardworking, ambitious, and successful people, and Tom was as well. He wanted to join the Army when he turned 16 because the big Civil War was going on. His older brother had already enlisted and was an officer, and he wanted to do his part. But he was only 16, so he was turned down. So he went to a different recruiting office and lied about his age and managed to get into the military at 16. He served as a private for 2 years, ending his term of career service as a corporal. But after he left being a corporal and his term was over, he'd done his duty. He went back into the Army, this time as a lieutenant. He served part of his time as an aide-de-camp or an assistant to his illustrious older brother, who was a general by this point. But eventually he joined a Michigan cavalry unit, and there his real service came about. He was present at several important battles, and he is one of the few Americans to ever win 2 Medals of Honor. The Medal of Honor is the highest medal for bravery and service that an American soldier can get, and he won it. 2 Medals of Honor in about 4 days. Incredible feat. Only a handful of people have ever gotten a Medal of Honor, and even less 2, but he was the first one to ever do it. And this was not a medal given for political reasons or any other reason. Tom really earned these medals. Let me tell you his story and what Tom did. In those days, the battle flag carried by a military unit was very important because there were no radios. Communication was often by signal flags. If you saw your battle flag waving, that meant rally around that point. That's where you're needed. It became a symbol of control of the battlefield, whoever controlled the battle flag. If you could take the enemy's battle flag, you defeated the enemy. And Tom saw the battle flag of a Confederate unit that he was opposed to waving. And he took off on a dead run on his horse, jumped the barricade that was between him and the Confederate soldiers, hundreds of which are all firing at him at the same time. He jumped that barrier, grabbed the battle flag out of the barrier's hands, surprised everyone so much that an officer and 11 men surrendered to him instantly, and he took them all captive. And it caused the Confederate assault to fall apart, and the battle was won. For this, he won the Medal of Honor. 4 days later, he did the same thing again, jumping the barricade right into the flag bearer's face on his horse. But this time, the flag bearer pulled his pistol and shot Tom right in the face, the bullet entering into his cheek and coming out the back of his neck, blood streaming everywhere. Tom pulled out his pistol, and before the bearer could react, grabbed the flag from his hands and shot him through the heart dead. Reversed directions, leaped over the barrier back to his own lines. His horse is shot and killed on the way. And before seeking medical help, he runs to get another horse until finally someone grabs him and says, Tom, you're wounded. But the next day, he was back in the fight. Incredible guy, Tom. Oh, did I tell you Tom's last name? It was Custer. Tom Custer. Tom, you see, was the younger brother of George Armstrong Custer, a general who has got a bad reputation in America today as an Indian fighter. But during the Civil War, George Armstrong Custer and his brother Tom won the Civil War for us. There were 2 critical battles in which their actions turned the tide of history. And it was George Armstrong Custer and his brother Tom who, after the war, fought the Ku Klux Klan. They were what was known in those days as Black Republicans. This was an insult because they were people who believed in full civil rights for African Americans and literally fought the Ku Klux Klan, largely destroying the original Klan in Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. When all that was over, They went west. And yes, Tom was with his brother, George, that fateful day at the Little Bighorn. Tom died. George died. Tom's other brother, Boston, died, and their brother-in-law died there. It was a very, very bad day for the Custer family. Tom was a brave man who set a shining example of patriotism and bravery, defending his country. And Tom, we remember you. We won't let you be forgotten. Thanks. Tune in for another history lesson from Choices. Thank you for everything. I'm Dennis. Have a wonderful day.